Are you at a place where your business is stalled, or you know that you could grow your business if you just had a little bit of help? Guy Elazar and I are going to talk about exactly what we see top agents do that makes all the difference. All right, well, I'm excited today. I've got my buddy Guy Elazar from Florida Properties Group, Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Florida Properties Group down in Tampa area. Tampa Bay representing. So we're going to talk a little bit about one of the main factors. And as Guy and I were talking about this, and we were really talking about what we really see that we see as helped agents. And then as I began to think about this, Guy, when I first started, when I was selling, I can remember back when I got to a place where my business kind of stalled and I was trying to figure out, and I realized, well, gosh, if I was going to take it to the next level, I needed another set of eyes on my business. And I actually hired coaches. And in reality, I think that was the time when I really started seeing some amazing growth. And so what I want to do today, if you don't mind, because I know you coach a number of agents, I coach a number of agents. We both do it in group settings as well as with individuals. Let's talk about some of the things and the reasons why coaching is so valuable to agents, because I think sometimes it sounds great, but then you don't understand really why. Right. And so let's get into the why of coaching. So let's start with a few of the things, the reasons why it's so important. You want to kick us off with one?
Yeah, we can start with accountability.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of us as agents out there, we work hard, but we don't work as smart as we could. And having somebody overlooking your shoulder, helping you, review your goals on a weekly basis, pushes you to make sure you are creating those income generating activities Monday through Friday. Really helps our agents. And as far as my agents go, we have a spreadsheet we look at every week. So we talk about the goals for the week, and then the next week we review, did we achieve those goals? I find that to be a key for their success.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the accountability, I think, whether it's in a group setting, like I do some of ours in group settings, and then we have the individuals, it's just that understanding. One of the things what we found is we do our group accountability calls on Fridays. One of the most efficient days for agents that are involved is the Thursday afternoon. And it's not because, they'll get to that point and they'll say, well, last week I told everybody I was going to do this. And then they get to a Thursday and they're like, oh gosh, I might have to stand up in front of everybody and tell them I didn't do it.
Yep.
And that little bit of accountability, and it's not like, in most cases we don't. We do every once in a while. But I mean, we're not going to be like, you suck for not doing it. But it's that little bit of psychology in the back of their mind.
Similar story to that, I do a 1 o'clock accountability coaching session every Friday. And let's say they're committed to make this many contacts, and then Friday 12:30 they're on their phones. Want to make sure they fill that pipeline, so when we talk about it, nobody's gonna, you didn't make your goal this week. So it definitely helps them stay where they need to be and hit their goals.
Perfect. All right, guys. So number one is accountability, but in reality, accountability doesn't do us any good if we don't know where we're headed. What would you say is the second reason that coaching is so important?
Well, I think, setting goals and holding to those goals. We sit in, the beginning of the year, we set a business plan for our agents. It kind of goes hand in hand with the goals. And then we review those goals quarterly, and then 6 months, and then 3 quarters into the year. And we know right from those time marks, how are you doing compared to your goal. I have a great story. I had a girl that I've been coaching, and she had a goal for the rest of the year, and 6 months into it, she hit that goal. And I said, okay, we're not going to pump the brakes now. You've done so great. You're not taking a vacation for 6 months. Let's raise elevate that goal for yourself. And she did really well. But conversely, sometimes we see ourselves, quarter a year, half a year, not meeting our goals. And we got to ask ourselves, why? What have we done that didn't get there? So we knew along the way, because we were not hitting, our weekly coaching marks, and then we got to reassess and see, are we going to be lowering that annual goal of income, which really sucks? We don't want to do that. Or do we want to work on the next quarter and really work hard and push ourselves and elevate ourselves, which means stick to a plan, stick to a schedule, make those connections.
Yeah, I always tell people that that if we've got a clear target and we know in the direction, we can backfill the activities on a daily basis to be able to do that. Some of the things that we use is just typical 50 conversations equals a deal. So if we're looking at we're wanting to have 24 deals, we need 2 a month.
Absolutely.
We just can simply break that down then to the number of calls per month, per week, and per day. And in reality, it's just trusting the plan and working the plan. So I would say that from a standpoint, it's one thing to have a goal, but if you're not following up on it, that's where that accountability steps back in.
Absolutely.
And that second set of eyes.
They bring you in and we talk about it. And life happens. The whirlwind happens. Things happen in your life that you don't control. Buyers, sellers control your world sometimes. But I always teach my agents to schedule themselves. Make sure you schedule yourselves to fill in that pipeline, plant those seeds, so you'll see those results.
Yeah, I think that brings us to the third point, which is maintaining a strong schedule. Let's talk about setting a schedule, the ideal place, because if we've got accountability in place, we have a target or a goal of where we're headed. Now it becomes the discipline of execution on that. So let's talk about our plan of action, and let's talk about some of those.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Treating your real estate business with all the freedom you have as an independent contractor as a business. You know, it's a 9 to 5 every day, and sticking to a schedule that we determine together, say whatever, 9 to 11 o'clock every morning, you are going to be making those prospecting contacts. That means that when you get a call from a buyer that wants to see a house at 10:30 in the morning, you check your schedule and you're like, I got an appointment at that time, I can't make it. You stick to that schedule, you fill in those pipelines.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point from a standpoint. Now we've got a system, now we've got a target, now we've got a follow-up, now we've got a little bit of discipline involved along with accountability, which really compounds those results.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we've talked about a number of different reasons why coaching is so important, but there's really, in reality, there's a couple of specific reasons why coaching is so important to help the agents go to the next level. What would you say is the next one?
I think calibration. I think, staying away from the shiny object, the squirrel that runs around and gets your attention. Really stay laser focused on your sphere of influence. One of the things that I like to ask agents is, what's your number? I think that's very important to know how many people are in your sphere of influence. I think if you have 200 plus, that's a great place to be. If you have under that number, you got to work on growing that sphere. But it comes down to, like we said before, you have 50 conversations with people that equals 1 transaction. So what you want to do is stay focused and making those conversations every week and knowing the sphere that you want to have. And we talk about touching them again 30 days later. So when you touch them correctly and you schedule yourself, and now you're touching them again, a month later and continuing doing this, you turn into top of mind for those people. When you're top of mind for those people, they're going to remember you when they're running into people in parties, when they're running into people in their office. When their neighbors come to ask them a question, they're going to remember to refer you. I think that's very important.
One thing I would add to that when we're talking about calibrating or being recalibrated, as a coach, a lot of times what can happen, I see, is that we've got this plan, we start heading that direction, and then all of a sudden we get off course.
Because we see some success.
That's exactly right. And so then you ride that roller coaster. You'll have that time where, okay, well now I've got these transactions, now I've got to manage the transactions and I'm not prospecting. And so it's calibrating that fact that you're continuously staying in contact with that group. And not just, we want to pick the low-hanging fruit. We want to work with the people that we know, which is our sphere of influence, which are those past clients, those people that we know are going to already know, like, and trust us, where we can get the business that's there to be taken without chasing something that may or may not work out.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've coached agents where they have gotten all this surge of business due to their activities. They neglected the prospecting part. They got 3 months of amazing business, then the bottom falls, there's no more business coming their way.
Right.
And they come to me and they said, now what? I got bills to pay, where's my next paycheck coming from? So we work on, schedule yourself, make sure you do the work, and then, take care of your business. Very common mistakes in real estate, and that's where we come in. We come in to be that nagging voice, remember you need to prospect, remember we're gonna meet, make sure you hit your weekly goal, let's get this done.
I heard it one time, a pastor said it this way, my pastor said it this way, he said that you need people that know you, K-N-O-W, well enough to be able to know you.
Right.
And it's so true. We need to have that accountability, not just the accountability, but for me to spend enough time with you to know that, hey, listen, that's not in your best interest. Let's stay focused right here. When we get to that point, now we got literally, we're at a place where we know we're going to have growth.
How many times do you hear an agent say, I got a call from a past client, I didn't really maintain a relationship with them, and I got that business? Well, I call that success by accident. And I work with them to be successful on purpose. Because you can flip it too and say, you haven't spoken to this buyer you sold a house to 5 years ago. If you would have only maintained that relationship like you should have over the last 5 years, you could have gotten 4 referrals from them per year. Multiply that to all of your clients that you've worked with. How much business have you lost?
That's it.
So I love it when they actually do remember my agents and call them, but I do also get the crying into my office, can you believe my own brother didn't buy a house from me? And I'm like, what have you done to earn that business?
All right, so Guy, one of the things I think to really kind of wrap this up is that just to understand, listen, you've got to find somebody that knows you well enough to be able to know you, as we said. We want someone that has done what we're looking to do. We want someone that obviously is doing it in a way that is going to be to our benefit and not to our detriment, because there's some bad things out there.
Sure.
And what's the beauty of that with you and I, we got the best jobs in the world, I'll be honest. All we got to do really is we have that opportunity to provide this coaching. in a way that helps those agents grow. One of the best things for me that I really enjoy, guys, I get to meet with people on a daily basis where I'm coaching them and to see the cross-pollination.
See the growth.
And to see that growth and see what happens in their business and then be able to share that with the person that I meet the next time of, by the way, you know, Susie, when I met with her, she was telling me she did this. And then the next week they come back and they say, by the way, you remember what you told me about Susie doing that? I did it and I got results. And now we begin to just see this almost like a tornado of activity that
like
just
a
begins.
Snowball.
It does. It absolutely does. So listen, whether they're in South Tampa area, whether they're up in Northwest Florida, one of the beauties of what we get to do is we get to provide this for free, because it is expensive if you're going out there to do it. And let me just say this, if you don't have it and you're not with us, go spend the money and get it.
Absolutely.
Because it's worth the money. It's an investment. It is not an expense. So if you're out there and you're wondering, should I get coaching? I think the better question is, do you want your business to grow? Because if you do, that extra set of eyes is definitely going to help it grow. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.